Also, if you see, the head of the headlight is now of chrome and gives it a more retro kind of a feel. The tank is more chunky, as I told you, and gives a more fuller feel while riding the motorcycle. Even if you see the exhaust, now it is tapered from here, and the muffler inside has a kind of a base layer inside, which kind of restricts it from discolorization and keeps that metal kind of a chrome look on it. Hello YouTube family, welcome to BikerDaadLife. Hope you all are doing well. I'm doing absolutely great. So today we have this beautiful looking motorcycle with us. This is the all new Honda Classic, that's the retro 350 with us. So in this video we're going to talk about how this motorcycle looks, how is it in comparison with the Royal Enfield Classic 350, and how does this motorcycle ride as compared to the Classic again. So without any ado, let's go ahead and check out this superb looking motorcycle. Come on. So from the front, if we see, we get a complete LED setup here in the front. With the Honda, that is, you get LED indicators too. With the Classic, you get a bulb inside and you get a typical bulbs in the indicator. So that's the difference with the Honda and the Royal Enfield, that is. Herein we get these nice big covers on the telescopic suspension with the Honda, so that gives it a kind of a retro look and looks quite similar to the Royal Enfield, that is. Both motorcycles have a telescopic suspension, but the suspension, I think, with the Honda seems to be a little on the better side, wherein the Classic rides on a little bit of a stiffer suspension. If you see the mudguard too, the mudguard has been changed, and obviously it's metal with the Honda, and it gets this distinctive Classic retro feel. If you see the braking, you get a nice big disc in front and with the Honda, and you get a dual channel ABS setup. You get a dual channel ABS with the Classic 352. So I think braking wise, both motorcycles are pretty okay. This motorcycle weighs around 187 kgs, whereas the Royal Enfield weighs around 195 kgs. So obviously this motorcycle is a little bit lighter, and the brake feel would be a little better than the Royal Enfield, that is. And compared to the earlier version, this retro motorcycle has put on probably around 4-5 kgs. So it's become a little bit heavier now. Talking about the rear section, you get a complete LED setup behind with the indicators too. So this gives a kind of a modernized feeling to this retro Classic motorcycle, wherein with the Royal Enfield, you get a more bulb kind of a setup, more of a Classic kind of a setup, but here you get LEDs, a complete LED setup. Again, the tail light has been brought a little down, so gives it a more of a Classic look and makes it similar looking to the Classic too. That's the Royal Enfield. The mudguard is again metal, so here you get these nice grab rails. Coming ahead, you see this nice split setup. Is similar to what you get in the Royal Enfield, and the comfort is pretty nice, and even the pillion, that is, he sits pretty comfortably on the seat. Even the rider, I've been riding this for few kilometers now, and I had no issues with the riding comfort and with the overall comfort that I got with the motorcycle. Yes, coming to the fuel tank capacity, the fuel tank capacity is now bumped to 15.2 liters. Earlier it was 15 liters. With the Royal Enfield, you get a 13-liter tank. So obviously you're going to do more kilometers with this motorcycle. This is E20 compliant. If you see this here, obviously nowadays all motorcycles are coming with E20 compliance, so this is no exception. And you would get a mileage of around, say, around 30-35 depending on how you ride the motorcycle. With the Royal Enfield also you could achieve similar figures, maybe a little lesser. Mainly talking about the core engine of this motorcycle, if you see, you get a 350cc mill. It's an air cooled engine here, which churns out around 20-21 PS of power and 30 Nm of torque. With the Royal Enfield, you get around 20 PS of power and around 26 Nm of torque. So power figures are somewhere similar to this, and The ride too, if you ride, the Royal Enfield has a different charm to it. It is more composed, it is more relaxed. And what I feel, even with the retro classic 350, that's the Honda, the engine has got a little more soothing, a little more slower, a little more relaxed. But the overall feel with both the motorcycles is pretty nice, and both the motorcycles are pretty planted while riding. I did a few corners with this motorcycle too, and it was pretty exciting. I did enjoy my ride with this motorcycle. Tires, you get a 19 section wheels with the Honda. On the Royal Enfield too, also you get a 19-inch setup in front. Here you get alloy wheels with the Royal Enfield. You get both options of spoke wheel as well as alloys, so obviously you have to pay around 7,000 more if you need those alloys and those tubeless wheels with the Royal Enfield. Here you have just one setup, that's the alloy wheel setup, so there's no issues there. And behind, if you see, obviously you have that big disc there, which you get with both the motorcycles, with the Royal Enfield and the Honda. And you get a 130 by 70 by 18 section tire behind. You get these MRF tires from MRF Nilo grip tires from Honda. The tire here, I would like to say, is fatter than the Royal Enfield, is one size fatter than the Royal Enfield, so that would definitely help with the overall comfort and with the overall kind of turns. When you're making those acute turns, it would kind of help you balance out more. Here you get a 7-step adjustable suspension. Even with the Royal Enfield, you get a twin setup and it's adjustable there too. So as I said, the suspension is much more plusher with the Honda, and the overall quality too is much better. So talking about the console, you get a semi-digital instrument cluster, which is pretty much similar to what you used to get earlier, so there's no changes out there. You get a traction control here, which you don't get with the Royal Enfield. You get slipper clutch. You get a much softer clutch here than the Royal Enfield. So these are two things that you don't get with the Royal Enfield. The Royal Enfield is more retro or more old school, you could say, in that manner. Rest, the mirrors are the same, that remains the same with the earlier motorcycles, so there are no changes there. The entire setup here also remains the same, which you could see with the other motorcycles of the other range, the earlier range, that is of Honda. The key too, if you see, is the same, so there are no changes with the key. Many people ask me about the key, is the same. You get the same seat height of around 800 with this motorcycle, and with the Royal Enfield it's a little more, it's around 805 with the Royal Enfield. And I don't think, even if you're 5'5", 5'6", you could easily ride either of these motorcycles without any ado. Here you get these nice tank pads which come as stock. You don't have to purchase them separately, so that looks nice. The Honda logo here, these are brand new colors. If you see, the brand new shade looks really nice. This matte shade here looks quite like the Desert Storm. The CB350 badging here. Obviously you have the Sadi guard here, and there are a lot of exciting accessories that are coming in. Probably in the future videos I could show you those too. With the Honda you get a ground clearance of 166 whereas with the RE you get a ground clearance of 170 so they're almost the same. I don't think you should have any issues with ground clearance with either of the motorcycles. By the way, I forgot to tell you, this is a air cooled engine. The Royal Enfield is an air oil cooled engine. Both engines are pretty smooth, but I would definitely say the Honda is a more smoother engine with respect to engine and with respect to engine vibration, that is. So to sum it up, who should buy the Honda 350 and who should buy the Royal Enfield Classic 350? I think both motorcycles have their own aspects. Both motorcycles look really nice. Both look pretty retro to me. If you need a newer model, if you need a more tech in it, then I think Honda is the way. If you need a more old school motorcycle, then probably the Royal Enfield is the way to go. You get a more calmer engine here, you get a more refined engine here with the Honda, but you get that Royal Enfield legacy with the Classic 350 and that Royal Enfield bloodline. So the decision is on you now. Let me know which one would you choose between both these motorcycles. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to know which one would you buy between both these two motorcycles. So I would like to end this video here. Do subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thanks a lot for watching. Do take care of yourself and your family. See you from BikerDaadLife. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.